Hello, good morning, beautiful. Welcome to another episode of Sound Talk Show. We are going to code Emacs Lisp today. And here is my website, xahlee.info. We are going to code HTML to Markdown and inverse Markdown to HTML. So wait, I got a spelling error here. Markdown, Markdown. So that's what we're gonna code. So this is for Emacs Lisp fans. So if you don't know anything about Emacs Lisp, the programming language, this is probably not interesting to you. And if you are here, say hi, Yippee Chokerman. And if you are watching this offline, play at 1.5 speed because I talk slowly and ramble so over. So skip around, okay? So we begin coding. So this is gonna be starting a serious session, coding. Make America great again by technology, not by talking and influencers and lawyers and crap. You gotta do tech, okay? So let's begin. So Markdown. So what the hell is Markdown? So I got a tutorial. Markdown. Markdown is, if you are a coder, everyone knows you can write this simple text, and it can be translated to HTML. Headings, inline code, code block, things like that. Okay, so and the other thing is so HTML. So you are looking at HTML right now. So HTML is one form of markup, and the Markdown is simpler. By the way, the name, there's a long history about all these markups. There are tens, almost 10 of them back then, like about 20 years ago. There's a markup war. Everyone is creating their own markup version. But eventually, Markdown won. And Markdown, the name, is just a mockery of the markup. Like normally this is called markup, because you mark up. So for example, £1 sign at the beginning of a line indicate that this is a header. £2 sign indicates that's a second header, second level header. And you can also have bold and, like if you want the list, then you put asterisks in front of the line. So that indicates it's a list. So you can translate to HTML or other formats. So it shows as a list. So anyway, so that's markup, that's in general called markup language, such as HTML stand for hypertext markup language, HTML, which came from SGML, which stand for SGML, okay, SGML. HTML came from SGML, okay, so what is SGML? Not stocks. Okay, it is SGML stand for Standard Generalized Markup Language. Then HTML means hypertext markup language. Then we have XML, means extensible markup language. So they are all basically in the same family. Now remember, they are all called markup. That's what it means in English. You mark it up. But then comes the maverick. Everyone is named markup. I'm just gonna name my stuff Markdown. So this guy is cocky. This guy is a kind of an asshole. Okay, so what is Markdown? So let's ramble a little bit about the history of the Markdown. He's a kind of asshole guy. John Gruber in 2004. That's like 20 years ago, in the early days of, internet era. So they, he created his version and he called it Markdown. Then about 10 years ago, there's a effort by the Stack Overflow guy, the guy who created Stack Overflow, to make it standardized. So the syntax is well specified, well defined, to make it rigorous. So everyone, the web, whatever programming languages can implement it and in a uniform, in agreement. So the Stack Overflow guy, they okay, it's the same link. Okay, it's standardization. Jeff Atwood and John McFarlane, they created. John Atwood created Stack Overflow. I don't know who is the John McFarlane guy. Anyway, Jeff Atwood wanted to standardize, to have a specification for the Markdown. So they talked to the John Gruber guy who created Markdown, and John Gruber refused to standardize it. So that was a big controversy, lasting over a year. So now, he refused to participate because he don't want, I don't know exactly what is his reason. Reason seems to be he think that it should not be standardized because it should, it's simple, something like that. So then eventually they created, their own version, kind of the so-called standardized version called Common Mark, okay, by the Jeff Atwood and so on. So anyway, there's, lots of fights and war ugly in technology sector, in programming sector too. Okay, we digressed a lot. We want to code this command. Okay, so let's begin coding the Emacs Lisp. Hello, Huang. I'm an Emacs Lisp hater. I don't think you are. Hello, Hank. I like Markdown. Yeah, Markdown has become standardized. So, it became universal. I learned about 2 years ago that the entirety of Microsoft documentation today, like the .NET, is huge. I suppose 10,000 or 100,000 pages. .NET is the programming platform from Microsoft. So the entire .NET documentation, including C# language, including F# language, including whatever Microsoft technology, PowerShell, the documentation are all written in Markdown, okay? In this simple Markdown. And not just .NET, but the entirety of Microsoft documentations, for example, the environment variables or Windows, Windows operating system, like the entire Microsoft documentation, they use Markdown, okay? Then it convert to HTML. So, like I can show an example. PowerShell, okay? So let's go to PowerShell. PowerShell documentation, okay, that's the right link, PowerShell. Okay, you need to turn on JavaScript in order to have, a bunch of links and panels and stuff, okay? So you can see here's a PowerShell documentation, standard shell on Windows. And let's go to one of the, actual page, Windows PowerShell docs. Guide, PowerShell support cycle, I don't care. Docs, overview, editorial. Yeah, it's easier if I just start look up a PowerShell function. So PowerShell, start PowerShell mode and type press became get children. And actually let's do this abbreviation. So so you can look up get children, press a key. That's XAR PowerShell mode. Allows you to code PowerShell in Emacs Lisp. You can see. So we go to PowerShell get children. Okay, so here is the documentation. So you can see get children, blah, blah, blah. And if you go, so how do I know it's Markdown? So you go all the way down. There's a GitHub link. So it's all open source today. The entire .NET from Microsoft now is open source. So now you got open source. So wait, That's another essay, history of the HTML script tag, ugly history. Okay, fight among the factions, among the programmers. On one hand, you have the Unix idiots. They insist you must follow standard for like 20 years. Not so much today. Today, the Zoomer generation, they don't know a thing. They don't chant about following standards anymore, but for past 20 years, like in the 1990s and 2000s, they chant the Unix, usually from the Unix phonetics. They tell you must follow standard HTML, valid HTML, W3C, and all that. And you got this ugly history. You can see. Anyway, that's another story. Let's go back to the Markdown. Okay, so Markdown, you look at the Microsoft PowerShell documentation supporting cycle. I don't care what the fuck is that. So here is a PowerShell documentation, and you go to provide product feedback. No. Open a documentation issue. No. Our contributor guide. Oh, collaborate. Okay, there. So how do I go to the collaborate on? Okay, let's click on our contributor guide. Oh God, this is. Can't I just go to the GitHub? GitHub got bought by Microsoft, of course. Let's just search for PWSH GitHub. Go to the homepage of the PowerShell source code. So there it is. Then you need to, docs. So you click on the docs. Then you need to turn on JavaScript. Since about 3 years ago, GitHub now requires JavaScript, and so they can know where you live and stuff. So here is the documentation and how PowerShell get whatever community. Where's the documentation for one of the documentation? But anyway, you can see .md. Okay, maintain. Let's God, where is it? Tools, Docker tools. XML build comment. So where is the I want just a page of the documentation for Get Children, for example. Okay, click on PowerShell and click on docs. Okay, so building command. So is this the documentation, or do they have a different page for documentation? But anyway, my point, you see, it's all .md. So you can see here, .md is the file name extension for Markdown. MD Markdown. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. All the source code. So if you, for example, they already formatted. So copy row, copy. Wait. So you click row. So you are looking at Markdown. Okay, so you can see it's just plain text. Then you format it to HTML like that. Okay, so that's what Markdown and history of Markdown. So what I'm saying is that the entire 100,000 pages of all Microsoft documentation is now using Markdown. I learned this about 3 years ago. Quite interesting. Okay, so let's open that. So let's put it back and showing browser, and we don't need that. Today's talk show. Okay, so anyway, let's start to write. Emacs Lisp. Hello, J Duggar. I know you as J Bugger. Not typing on Ultimate Hacking Keyboard 80 yet? No, not yet. So I did a review 2 days ago on my YouTube. Not yet. I haven't got the time to set it up, because these days, I'm kind of, so I need to change my keyboard and set up. Then it's a whole thing about setting up keys. You need to adapt to a new keyboard. So takes a while. Okay, in about a week. as well as info pages. Man pages needs to be rewritten in Markdown. That's a good recommendation, as well as Emacs info pages. That's right, Hank. I'm surprised you know these things. Hello, Emily. One of the things I like about Markdown specifically is that it's designed to be readable in its raw form, so it doesn't need to always be converted. Yes. Okay, so let's get to focus on writing a Markdown. Okay, I already have there's already packages you can people have written, but I wanted to write my own because I I can do it. Why not? Why not? It's actually easier, so I have full control and I can enhance it. So I don't need to otherwise check dependencies. Likely they will load the F and dash it, whatever bunch of dependencies bloated, and then it's easier for me to just write my own. So actually I already have it kind of written. So something, for example, let's say print 3. Let's say this is code. So I press a button, they become this code. Then press a button, they become paragraphs. So now showing browser. So you can see this print 3. So the command I call, so let's try again, okay? Print 3, then let's say I'm writing a tutorial. So press a key, you could do that, okay? So let's magnify, okay? So you got this corner bracket, okay? Search for corner, so you can see the name of that character is left corner bracket, this. And here is a French quote called angle quote, okay? So let's search for the name. So single left pointing angle quotation mark used by the French. So you got the text like that, make a paragraph, showing browser. So you see that there. Back to Emacs. Now press the key. Now look at the pink window. It will show the command I call. So press. It becomes that. And the command is xahlee bracket to markup. Bracket to markup. Okay, that's kind of, it should be named bracket to HTML. Anyway, now showing browser. So you can see print and variable green. That indicates it's a variable. Okay, so let's God, I kind of wasted so much time talking. I need, this is something I need to do. So let's okay, let's look at the source code for that command so we can base the source code. Wait, not there. So wait, what is the key? Describe key, and that's the command, okay? That's my personal command. xahlee bracket to markup, okay? So go to the source code. That's, here is the code. Let's copy it, new buffer, paste it, and let's save it. Save xx today's date, then the command name .el, there it is. Then xutf, abbreviation to turn it into lexical binding, and UTF encoding. Okay, so now we got the code. So this is just 112 lines. So what did okay, we got a code. So what is it? We so save it, go back to talk show page. Okay, to do, close that. Okay, we got now on my screen the font is huge. You need to do that when you do YouTube, but to me it's like, oh my god, huge. So there's two things about Markdown. Okay, so you need to write xahlee HTML Markdown to HTML. Okay, that's one command. Then you need to do one for HTML to Markdown. Okay, let's bracket them, make it into HTML code. So showing browser, actually I already have one of them done. Markdown to HTML. So let's look up that command I actually have written. So copy the command name, describe function, paste the name, enter. So here is my source code in xahlee mode. Okay, so let's copy it and the new buffer, paste it, get the name, save it, XX today's date, the function name EL and XUTF abbreviation. Okay, so that's the code xahlee markdown to HTML. Okay, so now 70 lines of code. Okay, so let's kind of improve this code. For the basics, like it's pretty simple. It's like find and replace. Okay, find and replace. So first thing you want to do, so here's the documentation, replace markdown text to HTML in current block. Block means like a block of code separated by empty lines. Okay, by block or selection if you want to, select it. So for example, let's try it here. Okay, so here are a bunch of markdowns. So copy the file name. Now, I mean the program name. Do I have a shortcut? Okay, you need to be in HTML mode. So let's go back to Xah Talk Show. Describe function, markdown to HTML. Do I have a? Oh, I don't even have a keyboard shortcut. I need to add it. Somehow I missed it, or because this command is not complete. 2025 April. Okay. So now let's get back to the code. So close that. So this is bracket 2 markup. Okay, now this. So let's try it first. Let's see. Okay, so let's move the cursor here. Call it HTML markdown to HTML. Do it. Did it work? Not exactly. Well, it did, but it kind of incorrect. So undo, copy the block, paste it here, call the command, do it, so we can compare over here, original, and this. So let's see. Yeah, I started to write this. No, now I remember I started to write this in a live stream in April this year, but it's not finished. So bold is correct, italics correct, heading is incorrect. So this yeah, so okay, you need to fix it. So this is just find replace. Okay, you can look back at my previous live stream if you want to see, that all this mundane code, how it works, because I done hundreds live stream coding this selection and Emacs basics, Emacs Lisp. Okay, so let's see. Heading. So something is wrong with the heading for sure. Okay, so let's just search for H1. So go to the point beginning of buffer, while regular expression, search for word. If the beginning is a pound sign followed by space, then anything not a line, okay, then you change it to that. Okay, so why is that? So this block of code should work. So split the window, go to the previous occurrence. So why did this become H1? Now this is 2 pound sign. So apparently it okay, so you need, so you need, that's why it's wrong. You need to add back the line ending. Okay, so let's add back that. Okay, so that there, and H3 there, and H4 there, and let's just add H5, 6. Yeah, this is inefficient because you can can you combine them? Kind of. Let's just do the inefficient way. Okay, for live stream. So so what? Undo. So add a pound sign. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is gonna be 5, 5, and 6. So HTML support H1 to H6. So you need one more. So we're just gonna do this inefficiently. Wait. Okay, so okay, so prettify the code. Now 4, 3, 2. Okay, evaluate it. Now go back to the top, cut, paste, and paste, and remove that. Okay, now let's do it here. Call the command, do it. Fantastic and beautiful. Now missing heading 4. So why is the H4 not working? Because H3, why is it not working? Did any one of you spot the error? So wait. Oh, because when you call it without selection, it's missing the line ending. Okay, so you need to make another fix. So one way to do it is, you copy that, paste it. Now you make a selection. So you select here to including the line ending. Then you call it, do it. So you see, because that command is checking our command is checking the line ending. So that should be fixed. We don't want, it should be either line ending or end of line. So what is the regular expression in Emacs Lisp for end of line character? I believe it's $sign. Okay. Yes, I think so. So okay, let's try to do it. Find and replace that. Okay, wait. Find replace that by okay, not in. So find replace that by $sign. Okay. Do it. Oh wait, so if you do it there, then you don't want the okay. So let's do it. Wait. Wait. What? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Now do it again, but this time you need to you need to just remove that. Okay. Do it. Let's try. I don't know if it works. Eval the buffer. I'll go to the top. Am I good? I'll read the comments in a bit. Okay, so copy that, paste, call the command, do it. Fantastic. My intuition is correct because I've been coding Emacs Lisp for by now 20 years, starting in 2016. No, 2006. Yeah. So okay, so we got it correct. So we got the headings, and currently not support H5, H6. That's incorrect. So and what about then you got low line for bold and italic and list. Okay, so you also need to do list. Okay, let's do the list one. Okay, this is inefficient code, but let's just live with it. Okay, so what you want to do with list is that, the list in Markdown is such that, so let's show that. Okay, so where is it? Okay, show. So where is my Markdown tutorial? Copy it back to Emacs. Paste it here, showing browser. So Markdown tutorial, and when you want a list, you got these forms. And you also got order list. Okay, it's a bit tedious. It's not trivial, the meaning that it'll take me like 10 hours, over several days to actually get the whole thing correct. And when you have nested list, that's more complex to turn this into HTML, so anyway, there's an error here. Wait, block quote precede each line with greater than. Okay, I got an error here. Ampersand encoding error. That's likely to happen when you have like HTML within HTML, or regular expression within regular expression, or string quote and escape within string quote and escape. Like when you want to pass a string into shell from Emacs to shell, then you got the escape hell. It's I did a video about last month on the string escape syntax design issue. So watch that one, because I think that's one of my great work for the past 10 years. A new string syntax for that fixed all the programming language problems of the escape. It's called rock string, okay, a month ago. So anyway, now what we're gonna do, so if you want to process the list, close that, reopen. So if you want to process, so wait, we need to fix the Markdown. Okay, so what? So this is error. So yeah, this came from. Let me tell you guys the story. This quotation mark convention came from the Unix idiots. Okay, this inflexible, hard-coded Markdown markup notation for quotation when you want to quote something. Extremely nasty. Like you are prone to create lots of errors, especially when you have nested quote. Then the line gets too long, then you got complete fuck up. This is a damage to computing industry from the Unix and C fuckheads. Okay, the Unix fuckheads, they are fuckheads, because they insist they are the best. This is the best way. So this contaminated the entire programming industry. In emails, it became a standard convention to, like, you put in the beginning of line, you put a greater than sign to indicate it's a quotation. That's a huge damage. Instead, what you should do, for example, let me show you what should happen. Okay, something like that. Okay, something like that. You want, you don't want hard coded. You don't want to do it with each line. You want some kind of markup that, for example, you can have a random character here. Okay, so you can so this way you can mark up this text, to mean quotation or whatever, and you can nest them. There's no problem in processing it. But if you do it this way, one line by line, and because line oriented way of thinking, that's from the Unix fuckheads. Okay, everything must be a line. That creates lots of problems for the past 30 years. So that's part of the reason you see. Well, that's actually not related. This is another thing, ampersand escape in HTML. Anyway, so let's fix this code. Okay, so now put it back, and now syntax correct. So back to the browser and refresh. Did I fix it? Yes. Okay, so this is a quote, block quote. Okay, so let's see the comments. H4 is not working because xahlee, were you away at a very expensive European vacation? Not really. Are you guys still watching? Is it interesting? Nice shirt. Yeah, this is Mario Brothers mushroom something. You are welcome, Hank and the line or file. Okay, so no comments. So are you guys still watching me coding Lisp? Oh yeah, yeah. So let's get on to the Lisp. Okay, so what do you want to do? So how do you process a list? Okay, so a list, each line begins with an asterisk. And okay, so you can, okay, so so how, so first of all, so it would be something like let's type it out. Okay, text. So dog, cat, dog, cat, bat. Okay, and let's add asterisk in front. So this is supposed to be a list. So what you need to do is you check a block of code beginning by an empty line and end by an empty line. Then for each line, if they start with an asterisk. Okay, let's do this part. Okay, when this part is done, that's it for this video. Okay, but let's do this list part. Okay, so let's search for yeah. Okay, so how do you do it? That's the question. Close that. HTML bracket to markup. Now close that. Okay, yeah, let's go back here. So go to char point beginning while let's just search for asterisk. Okay, then all the way. Then so what you could do is just change them to that. This is kind of simple, but then you need the URL. So once you do that, so let's we can do is that block, okay, a block of code, delete that, move it in, prettify. Okay, so this will go to the beginning of buffer, then process this. So once we did that, we could search for, one way to do it is then you search for a new line, then a new line, then followed by li. And this is not robust. Okay, something. A new line followed by li. Wait, that doesn't work. Two new line. This is a hack. This is not gonna be good. So if you see that, then you do ul, change it to ul, then li. Okay, then that adds the ul, but this is not the right way to do. This will create problems, I think, but let's just try it. Okay, so then also at the end, so when you have a li followed by two empty lines, then you replace it by that. Okay, so actually you need that. Okay, need that. Okay, this is not a good way to go, but let's just try it. Okay, evaluate the buffer, then eval buffer. You just call the command eval buffer. Now go to the top. Now let's try some list. Okay, we already have a list here. Okay, cut, paste, and call the command. Do it. It's missing the end of line. So let's make a selection and try it. Do it. Wait, why is it not working? Oh, because you need Markdown. Okay, so you need to select the empty lines before and after. Call the command. Do it. No. Maybe you need more lines. Do it. Do it. No. Okay. Problem with our code somewhere. So oh, you forgot to go to buffer main. Go to buffer main. Go to buffer main. Go to the beginning. Okay. Evaluate the buffer. Go back here. Call the command. Do it. No. Okay. Now, but you select extra lines. Call the command. Do it. No. Okay. Maybe you need to select more lines. Okay. Like at least 2. Call the command. Do it. Okay, you got the beginning UL, but you are missing the end UL. So what is the problem? Oh, obviously, this is that you're missing a slash. Okay, and then, yeah, so yeah. Evaluate the buffer, go back here, delete that, copy it. Okay, now select, call the command, do it. Fantastic and beautiful. I think let's call it a day for this video. Is it good? How long have I been going? An hour. Okay, I think that's good. So put this back. Syntax color, that doesn't work. Okay, so delete that. Syntax color showing browser. So let's show the code, shall we? Let's show the code. So here's the code. Let's remove that. There's a lot to do though. So list kind of works, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna run into problems because this is not the right way to do it. Okay, but let's just copy it. Okay, so copy it and go to today's talk show and add Emacs Lisp here, paste the code, syntax correct, showing browser. So here's today's code. You know, this ugly, but well, okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. It's good. Fantastic. Okay, so yeah. So there's a lot more to do. You know, Markdown is pretty simple, but even, you know, simple text processing, so you covered headings. Inline code is pretty easy to cover, but except, oh Jesus, 2 backticks. So you got this special case of 2 backticks. That adds a lot complication. And I think you also can allow 3 backticks. So it's lots of coding to deal with that case. Then code block. Okay, code block is another complexity because it uses the same markup as inline code. But now you have, you know, extra line end character. Okay, so then you need to do code block, and then alternative. This is annoying part about Markdown because you have so many different varieties of marking it down. So now you use a prefix, indentation, very annoying. Then you got italic and bold, asterisks for italics and 2 asterisks for bold. Okay, that should be simple. Then you can also do low line. Okay, it's get complicated. Oh God, thinking about this, I think, I'm no more discouraged. And this quotation block quote is similar to list. Okay. Okay, so then order list is more complicated because you need to keep, the counter. You need to keep the state of the counter for each line. But you never know. A simple way is just ignore the order, like if says two, you just check the beginning of line is a number dot space, a number, then dot, then space. Then you consider it does that work? No, actually, because you need to remove the numbers to put them into OL for order line. So yeah, so this is kind of problem. Link. Okay, so I think actually what I should do maybe in next video is actually use existing code. Let's look at existing code, okay? Because to write this is gonna take like 10 hours. So list packages, let's see. Yeah, let's continue. Let's see if there's already something. What we want is markup to HTML, okay? So Markdown list matching lines. Let's see what is 1,000 of them. Denote Markdown, EL to Markdown. What? Convert commentary of eList files to Markdown. Okay, flight check. Ham mode. Markdown change log. Okay, Markdown soma. What the fuck are all these? Markdown format. Format Markdown using Markdown format. Jesus. Markdown readme. Markdown formatted readme for your Emacs Lisp. Oh God, Markdown Ox Hugo, whatever Ox. Poly Markdown. Poly mode for Markdown mode. VMD mode, fast GitHub flavored Markdown preview. What the fuck? Major mode for Markdown formatted text, but that doesn't convert to HTML. So what is the preview mode? Markdown preview. Do you guys know what is the package to convert? So you got here, we got HTML to Markdown. Okay, that's that one that I need. Okay, I need this anyway, so let's just install start to HTML to Markdown. Okay, so open that. Let's see who wrote it. Requires CLlib. Okay, that's in Emacs. Okay, Bruce Corner. Oh God, Bruce Corner. Is that a guy? Oh, okay, so this is good. Malababa guy. I kind of know the guy. So I can trust this package. So HTML to Markdown. So let's install it, okay? So install, yes. So let's try it, okay? HTML to Markdown, okay? So describe function. Okay, so convert content of current buffer from HTML to Markdown. Okay, let's try it. So open the source code. Here is the source code. And how many lines total? 500. Okay, go to the top. Starting in 2015. Oh, interesting. Look at the package version format he's using. Okay, written by author Malababa. And why is Bruce Corner? Okay, that's his real name, something like that. And okay, so HTML. So let's just try it. Okay, copy the command name, close, 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 close. So this is Xahlee Talk Show today. So we got lots of code, this span and span. Okay, so copy it, make a backup, go to the directory, and let's just rename it XX HTML. Okay, rename it, open it. Now let's okay. Now save it. Now call the command HTML to Markdown. Let's see what it do. So there's a string version. Wait, what? So there's a string version, and there is a buffer version. Fantastic. So let's just do this one. Okay, HTML to Mark. Do it. Wrong type argument. Character PT. Okay. It's okay. So let's look up the documentation. So there are several versions we noticed. So let's look at what are the versions. Okay. So let's put the names here. God. So wait. So HTML to Markdown dash string and this buffer. Okay, so so actually describe function. Just go to the package and define list matching lines and buffer. So let me just put it there. Okay. Then what are the other? Then there's two string version. Okay, so okay, and let's try describe function the buffer version. Okay, except erases the current buffer and insert the result. Okay, that's not good. Convert content of current buffer from HTML to Markdown. Okay, so is it interactive? Yes, auto-loaded interactive. So I should be able to call it, but why am I getting an error? Interactive use. Okay. Okay, so the Lisp use. Okay, I think there's some design issues. There's yeah, I think there's a design issues with this function, because when you say Markdown string, that means you take a string, then but this buffer string is, so that buffer, this is very bad documentation. You don't do it like that. So buffer string is a function. It returns the buffer text into a string. Okay, then you pass this result into this function. What does that mean? So I mean, if you have a function that takes a string, then you just say string here. You don't say buffer string. So this documentation is bad. So HTML Markdown. So what? But why is it not working? So I got a HTML page. Call HTML to Markdown. Do it. It says wrong argument type. Now let's turn on enable debug on error. Let's call it again. Do it. So you got error. HTML find close while parsing. Neo char to string t. Okay, bad impression. You know, this is why I say when you use other people's packages, you what? Okay, this what is this? This is Xahlee talk show. So it's just a bunch of lists. Validate. It's valid HTML. So I don't understand why it's delete the main showing browser. So now it's almost empty. So now HTML to Markdown error. What the fuck is the problem? Wrong type argument, character P. HTML find close. What the fuck? The bad impression. Fuck. Okay, so it seems it can only pass limited. Is that right? Only limited number of tags. Okay, so it's remove the link, remove the meta. So do it. Save it first. Do it. Wrong type argument. Okay, let's remove the doc type. Save it and call it. Now it works. So very bad package. It's fucking, you see, when you have a doc type, this is valid and required for HTML5. When you have that, it says error. Let's try it again. Do it. Wrong type argument. Okay, now delete that doc type. Call it again. Now it works. Okay, now you go here. So HTML Markdown output. Wait, it's supposed to convert HTML to Markdown, right? HTML, but that's not, this is not Markdown. What the fuck is going on? Very bad impression. Oh, God. So that, so I would be better if I have a version, for example, this document, select all, then call HTML to text. Okay, it's not Markdown, but to text, but it failed. Why am I failed? So it works. Call it, do it. It works, but on the whole thing, call it, do it. It failed because God. Okay, my program also failed. Is it because of that? No. Okay, we got issues. Anyway. Okay, so anyone still watching? So what is the so HTML to text that works? Okay, now yeah, that works. Oh, I know why. So you need, I know why. So undo. So we got back here. So if you call, so wait, wait, save first. Okay, save. If you call HTML to Markdown, it chokes. Okay, now if you call, now you need to put the cursor at the end. If you call xah HTML to text, it does the job beautifully. You see, it's trivial to make this into Markdown. Okay, so to turn HTML to Markdown, is it easier than the inverse? I think they are pretty much the same. But anyway, I have the command. Okay, so undo. So if you do call Markdown, it fails, it chokes. You need to remove the doc type. Then you call it, then it works. But I don't understand why is the output like this. All it did is convert this to list. That's the only thing it converted. So the package sucks. You're supposed to deal with HTML, not just like 5 tags. Describe function, go to the source code. It only deal with these tags. So this is bad. Okay. God. Okay. Okay. Bye.